Boom! What's up, guys? It's Steve Larsen, and you're listening to Sales Funnel Radio. And today we're going to talk about how to roll out products. This is my favorite rollout strategy.
I've spent the last 4 years learning from the most brilliant marketers today. And now I've left my 9-to-5 to take the plunge and build my $1 million business. The real question is, how will I do it without VC funding or debt, completely from scratch? This podcast is here to give you the answer. Join me and follow along as I learn, apply, and share marketing strategies to grow my online business using only today's best internet sales funnels. My name is Steve Larsen, and welcome to Sales Funnel Radio.
What's up, guys? Hey, I'm excited for today and excited to be able to show you some neat things that, frankly, I don't see many people doing. The first product I ever launched and put out the door was an utter failure. The thing was terrible, okay? And but I wouldn't have thought that. I was spending inordinate amounts of time putting together the product, and my product was the best product ever, and I was so excited. I was running towards it, right? And in my mind, I was like, this thing's gonna change everything. This is gonna be incredible. Oh my gosh, look at this. Like, I was excited, and people were like, what are you doing? What do you spend all this time doing? And feeling smug a little bit about it, like, you don't know, and there'd be people coming to me and saying things like, hey, Larsen, what's up now? You doing that thing again? Like, all right, like, good luck with that. And I was actively seeking what I called my shut up check. Okay, and my shut up check was something that I sought as fast as I could when I was launching stuff. This is 4 years ago, and hadn't really perfected kind of this rollout strategy that I want to talk with you guys about today. But what was interesting is, like, I'd go build these things, and I was looking for my shut up check. And the shut up check was a concept I learned from another guy I was listening to, like 6 or 7 years ago. And the shut up check is it's the first check you get from your business, right? So when someone says, oh, are you doing that thing again? Is that even gonna work? You can pull it and be like, shut up, right? It is working, here's the money, right? It's the shut up check. And so I hope that you all have gotten your shut up check to throw in the naysayers' faces a little bit. Not that we would do that, but totally do it. Hey, what I wanna do real quick is I wanna share with you guys how I roll out my products. Because what ended up happening with that first one is I spent 8 months building it. And then when I was finally launching it, I put it out there, nobody bought it, right? And it's because nobody knew about it, right? What I want to do today is I want to go through, and it took like 3 or 4 months before cash actually started coming on in, and I kind of abandoned it until I figured out better ways for traffic, and then it started making more money. But I don't want you to go through that, okay? I was in the middle of college. I was like doing stuff with the Army. I was super busy. And for me to spend 8 months of my time, side time, right? We're talking late nights, early mornings, right? Time when, it could have been with the family instead of, and then not have it work, the mental, that was so mentally tasking, it was ridiculous. I don't want you to go through that. So what I want to do is I want to share with you how I roll out my stuff. I was, frequently I have marketing books and bookshelves all over the place. I was reading this book, Positioning, just kind of thumbing through it, looking through it, and frankly, I like to just, instead of reading front to cover, a lot of times I'll just kind of thumb through and oh, that chapter looks interesting, and I'll go learn something specific from it. So anyways, it's kind of interesting. Towards the back of the chapter, he talks a lot about, this is written by Al Riaz and Jake Trout. Anyway, it's kind of cool. They say, hey, when you make a new product, you must by default position against the old product. And I thought, hey, that's super cool. I totally get it when you're making a new opportunity. And he's saying a whole bunch of other great stuff. But for me, I really like what he's saying at the beginning. We live in a communication saturated environment now, right? There's so much communication. You're listening to me. You're listening to other people. Don't listen to other people. Just listen to me, right? But you're listening, and there's so many people speaking. Back in the day, right? Not enough communication was really the issue. And inside of organizations, not enough communication was really the issue, right? And maybe even customer to business or business to customer, not enough communication, right? Those are all serious issues for sure. But there's also massive, massive tendencies to over communicate now, right? And I believe in consuming a very very low information diet, as Tim Ferriss teaches and talks about in 4-Hour Workweek. Low information diet. I'm very careful on who I choose to listen to, and I'm very careful on what I consume, because it's just noise otherwise. If I'm not learning for intent, why am I learning, right? And I kind of ranted about that on a previous podcast. Okay. But I really liked what he's saying about this, right? Today, communication itself is the problem. We've become the world's first over-communicated society, right? Every year we send more and receive less. Now, as an entrepreneur, as a marketer, that is a terrible, terrible place for you to be in. Okay, and it has to do with something that he was also mentioning in the beginning of the book. Okay, there's a point here that I really like that he made, and there's actually a few points that I'm actually going to disagree with. Sorry. Not sorry, I believe it. Okay, it's just from my own experience in rolling out products, right? He said at the very beginning this. He said, look, for years, all of us in the marketing area taught to our students to build a marketing plan around the 4 Ps. Now, if you guys don't know the 4 Ps, I went and got a marketing degree. The 4 Ps are like Bible, okay? It is like gospel, especially a lot of like corporate marketing. The 4 Ps are, right, product, price, place, and promotion, okay? What's the product? What's the price of it? Where are you gonna place it? And how are you gonna promote it? Okay, now that makes sense, but he makes a great point. And so there's some areas here that I'm going to agree with and some that I won't here, and I want to share with you why and how to do with my rollout strategy. Okay, I began to realize some years ago that important steps needed to precede the 4 Ps. All good marketing planning must start with research, before any of the Ps can even be set, right? Research reveals, among other things, that customers differ greatly in their needs, perceptions, and preferences. Therefore, customers must be classified into segments. So he's like, research, get them into segments. You can't serve all segments. Decide where you're, and I agree with that. What I'm doing, and I'm not, it's actually, I want to walk you through how I do this without getting like technical. You know what I mean? So I'm going to put the book down. The scariest thing ever is for you, a marketer, to go out, or sales funnel builder, whatever, okay, to go out and launch a product that nobody has ever heard of. Scary, scary crap, okay? That's so freaky. And the first time I ever thought and learned the strategy I'm going to teach you the guys, I remember I was watching a lot of other gurus launch their products, and these gurus would go launch their products, and come to find out, a lot of times the product wasn't even built when they were selling it. And I had like kind of this moral compass conflict inside of me that was saying, is that right? Is this ethical? Are we right? Is that, and I was like, that's kind of weird. Like, huh. And I had a hard time with it for a while. And I know every time I teach the strategy, every once in a while, people are like, is that right? Is that real? Is that okay? And let me explain with you what really is going on behind the scenes, okay? They're doing the 4 Ps. They're doing research and segmenting. They're doing all these other things inside there, right? They're positioning the new product against the old one. Right? This positioning game is really, really heavy into what makes a good marketer, right? The stories you tell, all that stuff matters tremendously, okay? The way I've been rolling out, and the reason I'm talking about this is because I'm doing it right now, 2 times the 2 products, okay? There's one product, if you guys are part of my group, The Science of Selling Online, I just built Affiliate Outrage live in front of the group, right? I designed the marketing message, drew out the funnel, drew it, and then I built the funnel live. Well, I'm doing it again with another product in front of that group, right? And just for free, anyone can watch it, right? And I'm going through and I'm saying like, okay, there's a need right here, right, everybody? And they're like, yeah, there is a need right there. Okay, what kind of thing would you wish was inside that product? Awesome, cool. Okay, you know what? I'm actually going to go through and in front of you, I'm going to design the marketing messages, right? I'm going to go through and let's brainstorm together what false beliefs there are about the product I'm going to put out there. They're like, well, if it's about funnels, maybe I'm thinking to myself, crap, I'm not a techie. I'm like, oh, that's a good one, community. Thanks for saying that. How would their community, this is how I would combat that. And I go around and show them, well, that's a bad belief because of X, Y, and Z, and I retell them another story, right? Then I'm like, oh man, community, what are like some of the stories you would expect somebody to be believing, right? Some of the experiences that they've gone through that's made them think they need to be a techie. And they're like, well, I saw this guy and he was an awesome funnel builder, a great person online, and he was a coder. All these people were coders. I'm like, oh, that's great. Okay, let me write that down. Now I need to break that story. I need to put a new story, right? Does that make sense? I'm going in and I'm literally using the very people who are buying the product to help create the marketing message, and I'm doing it live in front of them. What does that do? Okay, what does that do? Right, so I just did this for Affiliate Outrage. It's a free program. But I took the time to go do it because I wanted to, number one, go through and show, right? There's a sense of I'm trying to display that I know what the heck I'm talking about. I don't know how do you say that word? I don't know what that word is. Okay, but I'm trying to go out. I'm trying to say, look, right? I'm not a fake. Watch me do it live, right? Watch me build and construct the thing in front of you, right? And now I'm doing it for another, right? So I did it for a free product, Affiliate Outrage. Now I'm doing it for another paid product, but again, in front of them. And what that's doing, I'm literally building it in front of them. And what's cool about that, in front of the very people that I hope buy it. And I know a lot of you guys watch this podcast. What's up? That's the strategy, right? And I hope you guys all use it in your businesses. The strategy is if you are selling an info product, or you're writing a book, or you are in retail, or if you're in B2B, or if you're like multiple ways, whatever you can do to take those products that you sell and deconstruct them in front of the customer and put it back together and say, here you go. Right, that increases your sales like crazy. I don't know if you guys ever see the show. In fact, it was one day. I don't know. It was like I don't know, like 6 months into working at ClickFunnels. Russell voxed me and he said, "Hey, dude, we're gonna start a show called Funnel Fridays." I was like, "Cool, what's that?" And a lot of you guys know me from Funnel Fridays, right? A lot of Funnel Fridays. Every Friday, what Russell does is he gets on with Jim Edwards, fantastic copywriting expert, and Russell, obviously funnel building expert, and they get in and they take somebody's product, whether it's someone from the audience or something else that they're doing at that time, and they build an entire funnel live in front of people in 30 minutes, okay? Now, do they always finish? No, hardly ever, okay? That's not the point though, okay? What that does, right? Think about it. Russell, CEO of ClickFunnels, okay? Jim Edwards, right? Creator, seller of funnel scripts, coming together and using the product in front of the customer, right? Doing exactly, right, what their product sells, using the products in the live build, right? There's times on there, guys, every Friday, we would have like sometimes 200, 300, 400 people live watching us, giving feedback, asking questions. Why did you do it this way? Why did you do it that way? Guys, that's selling, right? Does it feel like a sales script? No. The whole point I'm trying to make here with you guys is that if you're like, hey, I want to go build this product, do everything you can to, number one, roll it out in front of them. Include them in that rollout strategy. Include them in the build. And it's ridiculous what that does for them. It creates these true believers. And now suddenly, when they go, let's say you're building the software, okay? When they go in and they say, oh my gosh, I remember the story of Stephen going through and teaching us why this button in the software exists. Remember everything that went on behind that? Oh my gosh, that's crazy. That's crazy. And now there's affinity for that feature, whereas before they're like, well, this is a crappy feature. You know, if there's some little bug with it or whatever, right? When you're building the little pieces inside of your products, you're putting things together, it is incredibly important for you to document the journey of the creation of the thing. And that's the point of today's episode, okay? Document the journey of the creation of your product. And what you end up doing is pre-selling people for the day that you open the doors. Okay, that is what I did not understand when I launched my first info product. It is what I did not understand for quite some time. All right, it's kind of like Hollywood, right? Hollywood goes out, and I've said multiple times, right? Hollywood goes out 6 months before a movie goes out. They start getting people ready. They start creating curiosity. They start building pressure. Okay, a marketer builds pressure over time towards a certain event, a purchasing event. Okay, that's really what a campaign is, right? It's building pressure towards a purchasing event. Right? And there's a campaign and they're building. They're building a pressure. And they're 6 months out, there's a sweet, or even a year sometimes, right? Hey, there's a preview for that movie. It's only 2 minutes long, but it's a teaser. 6 months out, there's another one. 3 months out, there's another one. A week ahead of time, holy crap! Right, go get it. Oh my gosh, this is the launch date. By the way, here, go get premiere tickets. Come here, pay extra to see it, the first showing of it in your area. You know, does that make sense? And they make an event out of the rollout of the product. And the issue that I find more often than not is that there's been no pressure, no talk, nothing about a product when it launches. The problem with that is that then you're going to rely on ads and influencer name drops, and that's fine, and I would do those strategies, and I do those strategies myself. But if you're not actually turning around and building the pressure ahead of time, right, there's really two ways you can build the pressure. Build the pressure ahead of the product launch, right? Then you can build pressure after the product launch by doing things like ads, closing the cart strategically, you know, do lots of stuff like that. So anyway, I hope this has made sense. Kind of dove deep with it a little bit, but I agree with what the book positioning was talking about, but not just from a positioning standpoint, from a rollout strategy, right? That's very, very huge for you to think through how to actually put your product out the door. So if you want to see an example of that, go to thescienceofselling.online, thescienceofselling.online, and I'm saving the live product and funnel builds in that group, so you guys can go back and watch them and stuff. It's been really cool. If you guys want to see the affiliate outrage one in there, how I designed the marketing, meaning the actual messaging, the sales message, there's a format, there's a template I use for that, right? Going out and then choosing the funnel to build, there's a format, there's a template. 90% of this is just a big old formula. People just convolute it, right? Then when I'm actually building the funnel, there's a format, there's a formula that I follow to get that out the door quickly, right? And while I'm doing it, usually I'm live and I'm showing my prospective customers how I'm going to be selling them. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? This is a huge extra value add, right? Now they're like, oh man, I didn't know this is why that did that. Oh wait, I didn't realize, Steven, that this false belief that I had over here is actually a false belief, right? Oh, cool, really? You're going to put that feature in? Huh, interesting, right? And what's beautiful about this whole thing is I'm going out and I am showing them what they're getting without them getting it, okay? So that makes the curiosity higher. When they've spent that amount of time with me on the internet, they're just sitting there free and they don't get it, the itch is not totally scratched and they have to buy, okay? Anyway, I just hope that you take that seriously. And that's really what I've been doing the last little bit here is recreating certain parts of the product. After products are rolled out, I'll recreate certain parts of that product live in order to push more people in, right? I'll go, and the first time the product goes out, I'll make a whole bunch of it in front of the people, right? Sometimes not all of it, but key parts that I know they'll be really interested in. Anyway, lots of fun stuff. The whole point is to take the customer with you on the creation of the product, or certain parts of it. And it will create this massive, massive affinity. And then you get these true believers, right? Rather than go and find true believers, you create true believers. Very powerful. All right, guys, hopefully it's been a helpful episode for you today. If you've enjoyed this, thank you so much, all of you guys who've been reviewing the podcast on iTunes. It means a lot. Encourage you to keep doing that. And I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye.
Boom! Just try to tell me you didn't like that. Hey, whoever controls content controls the game. Want to interview me or get interviewed yourself? Grab a time now at stevejlarsen.com.